Hi, I'm Abby, and I have a website. It's abbynormalswisdomquest.com. And today I want to discuss a subject. It's regarding dark souls. It's hard to really define where to begin on this one because it's such a wide. There's so much, and so I was raised a Catholic. So I was raised to see that in existence there is a heaven and there is a hell. I was raised to believe that there is a devil and that the devil is misleading us into a death where we live in an eternity of hell. So he wants our souls. So, but then obviously if you can commit yourself to the Savior, Jesus, then you will be saved, and that God Himself will allow you to enter into His realm of heaven. So I was raised with these beliefs, and I, around the age of 12, started to really try to develop an understanding of whether I believed that or not, and my greatest concern was about people who didn't go to church, people who didn't know any better, people whose parents, kids at school, their parents didn't take them to church, and so their parents are okay with their kids going to hell. Like, this was very terrifying to me. And I, it took me a few years, but I suddenly realized that no God, no almighty, all-loving God would ever want to see His children, His creations, burn in eternity. No God would ever turn His back on His creations. No God would do that. No parent whose child is completely out of control. No parent completely loses their connection. I mean, you could feel like, you know what, I have had enough of this relationship, I'm walking away, but that is not enough to want that creation to burn for all eternity. I mean, eternity is never ending. Eternity is no beginning and no end. Eternity, that is nothing deserves that. Nothing. Not even the most evil expressions in the entire universe deserve that. And so to talk about dark souls, like, I've had such an experience. I have so many experiences in this subject because I've suffered from depression for 20 years. I'm 32 right now, so I'm over that hill, and I could talk to you about the universe and the energy that has been affecting the planet, and part of my purpose here as a soul, and all of this is a development. All of this has been a humongous cycle for me to get to where I am today. So part of me getting to where I am today is to explore the most terrifying, nightmarish, darkest side of the moon, a life where I was entirely inflicted by a dark world. And in that dark world, I was very much afflicted by spirits that did not care about my well-being. They wanted to see me miserable. They wanted me to be just in their realm of control. And so I have had very severe experiences in the middle of the night, so what would be 4 a.m. in the morning, where I will just tell you about it in this video, and then I'm going to try and make more videos on this subject because people don't realize our connection with spirits, and spirits from all spectrums of the light, spirits that are dark, spirits that are light. People don't realize that even as a good person here on this planet, that you are still attuned to feelings of like hatred and frustration and anger, and all of those feelings are a connection, are a wire, are a hand that is reaching out to a darker vibration to inspire these feelings, to burn these feelings further, to create a dream of your anger, to play it all out in your fantasy world to try to make you feel better. It doesn't make you feel better. And that is a connection with the dark side. That is not a connection with love. Love is a connection where you say, you know what, I love me. I love my life. It isn't meant to be a perfect life today. You look across the planet and you see the nightmares that all humanity is experiencing. And when something bad happens to you, you just take a deep breath and you say, you know what? Today I choose something different. Today I do not choose darkness. Today I choose love today. And instead of being frustrated and angry and I can't stand that person or this situation and nothing ever works right for me, instead of going there, go somewhere else and just say, universe, God, angelic beings of light, love itself, please embrace me in this moment and don't allow me to step past this experience where I could choose love instead of darkness. And I choose love today. So that is an intention, a connection with choosing light. So spirits that vibrate on a very high level, that have your best interest at heart, that want you to experience love, want you to experience joy, that is you connecting with spirits of light. When you choose to get angry, you are connecting with spirits of darkness. You are choosing to connect with dark souls. You are choosing to go there. So that is just a tiny, tiny little fragment of this conversation, because I could talk about how deep you can go into darkness. I can talk about how you could connect with, become even possessed, so that your spirit is entwined with a spirit that is not at all good. Not at all good. And I can tell you what they feel like, how to release yourself from them. And the hard part is recognizing that they're there. And even then, it is hard to let go because they feel so comforting. There's a reason they're connected with you. There's a reason that you choose them. And it literally is like a relationship, like a loving mother to a child. And it is such a manipulation. It is hard because of the feeling, the sensation of protection or love that it feels like they're giving you, and it is not true. So again, it's a very huge conversation, very wide range of topics. So I will just describe to you the incident that took place when I would say this took place when I was 17. And it was a series of several, what would be considered by most human beings dreams, but these were not dreams. These were, I will just tell you, it is very, okay, so I don't have a definition for what that world is, and I've been to that world many times in different ways, and this was the first time I'd gone there. And it is a real place. It is like an alternate dimension where you are not within your own body. You are outside of your body in a world that exists somewhere. And you can feel everything, and even more so than you do in real life. It is more real. It is more sensational than here. It is a nightmare. If you go there and you are not connected with high vibrational beings, if you're connected with low vibrational beings and you're in that world, it is it is a nightmare. It is the most terrifying nightmare anyone could ever imagine having. So I suffered from depression for 20 years. So I would say, I would say more like 19 years if you want to be specific. So 12 to then 31. So I'm 32. I'm almost 33. So you get the idea. It's been an extremely, extremely long time, and I never took medicine for it, and until the last year, and that actually, so many things have happened in the last year. So I could tell you about that in another video. but I suffered from it, and it was like a really long downward spiral, and my mind had gone into different developments of depression. But when I was 17, I was very depressed, and I always had a connection with the spirit world, and I always prayed every night. I always talked to God or whoever was listening, because I knew all my life that there were invisible people there, and that they could hear me, and I could feel them sometimes. I could feel their energy. I just couldn't see them. So at night, at this time in my life, I wanted really bad to escape my body, because I couldn't kill myself, and to live in that type of misery, you want to escape your body. You don't want to feel that anymore, and it's not. I mean, so anyway, so I had this idea that if I could just fall, I was trying to remove my spirit from my physical body. So I was trying to figure out how I could do that. And this is a huge long story, because there was more that took place before the evil part, which would be briefly, I was given randomly a book about witchcraft. I don't even know why. It was just some guy just thought I should have this book. So I thought, okay, I'll just look at it. And so I did, and I started becoming really relaxed at night, and I would drift off to an alternate world where a very kind woman would meet me by the beach, and it would be an amazing ocean, and there would be electricity in the sky, and she would tell me that water is a conductor of electricity, and she started teaching me things about energy. Well, in this depressed state, I really desperately wanted to see her every night I went to bed, and so I would tell her I was going to see her again, and I would go into a very relaxed state, and I would go visit her. Well, she stopped coming to me, and I didn't know what to do, and I was very lonely and depressed, and so I would do that at night, where I just was just I'm just gonna find a way to get out of my body. I know I can do this. I know I have a choice. I can choose to not live this life anymore. I can choose to be outside of my body. I can choose to say I'm done with this life now. I can choose that, and but obviously that doesn't work very well. So in my very low vibrational state of being, in a very relaxed state, where I could instantly relax myself to such a deep way that it would just be, I can't even describe it, but it would be like I felt like I was falling into an alternate reality, and I would go into what appears to be a dream world. So anyway, in the evil part, I did this, and this happened shortly after the old woman by the ocean just wasn't there, and so I woke up after falling asleep, after doing this deep relaxation, and I looked over, and my alarm clock says 4 o'clock, and so I was like, oh, well, I still have time before I have to get up and go to school. So I got up and tried to flip the light switch on. I was going to go to the bathroom. So I go to the light switch, and the light doesn't turn on. I was like, well, that's strange. So I just whatever, ball must be out. So I walked to the bathroom, and that's when I felt something it felt what would be like an acidic sensation. But the energy was acidic, but also it was funny, in a really not funny way. Very, very but I could feel all this, and it was female, and although I was not seeing her, I was sensing her so extremely that I could see that she was female, and I mean I don't have an idea of what she was trying to look like or anything like that, but very, very strong sensation, and in this place she was toying with me and trying to convince me that she was the old mother, by the ocean. And I was like, but then I would feel love for you, and I don't feel that. And she just was so like laughter, just laughter, toying with me, very acidic, ugly feeling. And then I started to get really scared because how come the lights aren't turning on? Where am I? And so I just started running, and I was living in I had a room in the basement. So I started running towards the door, and I was so terrified. I was so scared. I didn't know what was going on. And so I ran upstairs. I started screaming my parents' name, and nobody could hear me. The lights wouldn't turn on. I kept trying to turn on all the lights, and all of this is happening so fast, and it's so scary. And I was so bewildered, all in these seconds of time, and I had no choice but to say, God, help me! I don't know what to do. And it was literally like 3 or 4 seconds. It was what felt like, it was probably less than a second, but I heard that my call was heard, and it was like I could hear the phone pick up, and then I suddenly was waking up in my real bedroom, like panting, like I've been holding my breath forever, like I hadn't been breathing, and I just lifted my body straight up, breathing so heavily, like trying to catch my breath, so scared, trying to figure out, like so relieved at the same time because I'm back in my bedroom again, like and I look over and the clock says 4 a.m. and I was like, what is going on here? This is not right. And I was like, I don't know, but I don't know what that was. But I've always been very curious, so that was not the only time that happened. That happened 3 or 4 times before I finally was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to try to go I'm not going to go there anymore. This is scary. This is not good. So I had interacted with that scary girl a couple times, and it was always the same scenario where I'd wake up and I'd look at the clock and I felt like I was just waking up in my bedroom, and it's 4 a.m. and I get out of bed and everything is normal. It looks the same. Everything feels the same. And I turn my light switch on, and it was such a reenactment of what I would normally do in my normal life, and I could feel everything, but 10 times more clearly. But you don't notice that until she comes, and it's scary. Well, the final time, which would have been like the third or fourth time, and it was not her that had visited me. It was a male, and very, very, very terrifying. She would have been on the spectrum of a baby soul, and he would have been on the spectrum of an ancient, dark nightmare. And so the difference of terror is not even, it's insane, the difference of terror I felt. And so when he visited me, and remember, I'm very depressed, I'm like desperate to leave my body, I'm desperate for my life to come to an end, I'm desperate and I'm also very spiritual. I'm very, very sensitive to the spirit world. I believe in the spirit world, and but guess what? I am choosing to connect with darkness. I am choosing to be depressed. I am choosing to go there, and so in those choices that I make, just by being instinctually sad for reasons that were explainable, I was still choosing to have a connection with darkness, and no light can say I'm going to intervene. No light can say that. You choose light or you choose darkness, and I chose darkness. And so in that choice, I have to learn. Darkness wants to make this fun for me, to learn who they are, learn what I am choosing, learn, that is fun for them. That is what they live for. That is their joy. And guess what? This planet is fun for them. This planet is awesome for them. And that's why it is time that we choose light. It is time that we choose love instead of instead of all those feelings that connect us with the darkness. And it's hard. It is hard to just stop and not react and just say, I'm about to react, I'm about to get mad, I'm about to choose darkness. Love, light, angelic beings, please, encompass me and help me choose light. I really mean to choose light right now, but I really feel in dark right now. Just help me. And just allow it to happen. Literally, this whole planet needs every human being to do this now, because it is time for us to choose a different path, and for our entire species, for our entire planet, for everybody to choose love this time, not to choose destruction, not choose violence, not choose all of that, to choose love, because love is joy. Violence does not create joy. Hatred does not create joy. Hatred does not give you power or strength, or it does not win. It never wins. Love always wins. So I will tell you that no angelic beings, no light, no God, no nothing could have intervened until I had chosen for it to intervene. So when I woke up and I looked over and it was 4 a.m. and I thought that I was actually awake in the real world, in my reality, I didn't even get out of bed before I felt what was the tainting of even the air I was breathing with pure nightmare. That's the only way I could describe it. I was inhaling nightmare. I was inhaling terror that is so profound that it was in my veins, it was in my lungs, it was in my heart, it was in my brain, it was in my eyes, it was in my entire body, it was in me. And I was so scared, and it could hear my thoughts. I knew it was in me, and it was everywhere in my room, and it was so, the thing about it is that each expression has its own personality, really, and it knew what it was doing, and it knew it was it was there to terrify the living daylights out of me, and it did, and it made sure I knew. And it's kind of odd, but even I look back now and it's like, if it weren't for that nightmare, if it weren't for that moment, I would not. I have respect for darkness, because darkness has taught me so much, and I would not be able to tell you that we need to choose light unless I have chosen darkness so much that I am so sick of it and so ready for something new. And it has infiltrated my life in ways that are just unimaginable. And so you have to love and respect all expressions. All expressions are a part of all things, are a part of all creation. And we need all expressions. We need them. My soul is an individual, but it is connected to all souls. It is connected to the infinite world. It is just as aware of, is just as connected, because all things are connected. It's just as connected to darkness as it is connected to light. That doesn't mean I am choosing to be a dark, demonic spirit. I am a spirit of light. But that does mean that I can be infiltrated in my human body by dark spirits that want to connect with me, that want to show me things, and I don't quite enjoy what they show me. So in that nightmare, I tried to hide under my blankets, and there was nowhere I could go. And the terror is not even, there's no words that could describe the terror. There's no way I could describe how terrifying it was. But all I could do was very weakly just say, please help me, God. And like very weakly. And it was, again, like the phone was answered. And it was almost like I could tell, like I could almost hear it be answered. And then very quickly, it felt like forever. But then all of a sudden, bam, I snap. I am like coming straight up out of my bed. Like I haven't been breathing, like trying to catch my breath, trying to breathe, trying to get air, and trying, it's like so relieved that I can feel that it's just normal air. I can feel that I'm in my room again. I can feel that there's nobody scary here. I could feel my blankets, and I could feel like I was not, like my whole body was not consumed by a nightmare. Then I looked over at the clock, and again, 4 a.m. So I don't know where. I know this world is real that I go to, and I've been there in different ways before, not just to visit these dark souls. I've visited other beings and beings from other planets in this world too, where I thought I was awake, and everything is as normal as could be, but I'm in a heightened sensory world where everything is identical to my real world, but I'm not. It's as if I'm not in my own body. It's as if I'm outside of my body, and interacting with spirits, or I guess spirits, because it feels so real, and spirits could be an expression of an alien being too. They could be an expression of a human being. They could be an expression of anything. They could be an expression of a demon. The spirit could be any shape, any form it wants to take. It's just a light energy, and so anyway. I'm going to end there, but if there's one thing I can tell you, please take away from this video, is that please recognize and become aware that you are always connected to whatever you want to be. It is your choice. You can choose to love, you can choose to hate, you can choose darkness, or you can choose light, and it's okay. Honest to God, it is okay if you do not. The universe is. This is not heaven. This is not hell. There is only the experience of life, and if in that experience you choose to be a part of the dark world, the universe still loves you just as much as it loves those who choose to be a part of a light world. We have to have death, and we have to have life. We have to have night, and we have to have day. We have to have these things. If we don't have these things, there is no such thing as balance. There is no such thing as birth or death. I mean, you have to have dark, you have to have light. And the universe loves both. The universe loves both expressions. But as a human being, and as a human being living on Earth, amongst many human beings who are very connected, very driven by instincts that inspire us to become one with the darker energies, the darker spirit realm. I really want to put a voice out there. I really want to put my experiences out there, that we can choose to be connected with light. We can choose to be connected with love, and we can choose to experience that on this planet. We can choose to have that here, and we all want that. We all want love here. So that's all I'm going to say for this video, but I'd sure like to step back onto this topic because it's good for human beings to be aware of our connection with all of creation, with all of the spirit realm, with the dark realm and the light realm, and that it's very easy to be connected with darkness and not even realize it. So that's all for today, and I hope you found this video enlightening, and please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I've got more videos to come, and feel free to leave comments or thoughts on what I've shared or experiences that you've had in your life. Thank you for watching.